to Kathleen and John. I don't know where John's sitting. Sorry, John. This venue is beautiful, and it is absolutely perfect for the celebration of Marilyn's life. I mean, I'm looking here. First of all, you had me at the chandelier when I walked in, but to see her paintings, to see her family, her dearest friends. I mean, to be in a barn on a farm. I mean, this is Marilyn, and I know she's got the best seat in the house. So, just wanted to say that to both of you. My name is Melanie, as he mentioned, and Marilyn is my aunt. She is the big sister to my mom, Rosemary. And all my life, well, we knew, this is my sister Nancy, we knew that my mom and Marilyn had this very special bond. I mean, granted, they're sisters, but their lives were so completely different. You know, Marilyn here in Knoxville, raising her 2 children, living on a farm. She's painting on, barn wood. I mean, who does that but a creative person? My mom raised 7 children in suburbia, USA. We moved all the time, everywhere. But what remained constant is that we always saw the blazes. We did for holidays and summers. And I can remember, as Nancy, I'm sure, a lot of our summer vacations, most people go to Wisconsin Dells. We went to the Blaze Farm. So even though I'm sure John and Kathleen, that's your house, but with Marilyn at the helm, it was like as good as Disneyland for us. Because Marilyn made everything fun. We know her personality is bigger than life. We also knew that going to her house, there would be great food. She and Frank always had a big pot of something on the stove, some kind of stew. We knew that Marilyn was going to have sugar cookies of some sort, and of course, candy. And if there wasn't any candy in a dish, I guarantee if you opened up her purse, there would in fact be Werther's or those little Brock's butterscotch candies. So we knew it was a fun time. And at their house on the farm, when I think of Marilyn, she lived life so colorfully. Of course, she had Fiesta wear. That's one of my best memories is when I see Fiesta wear for any reason in any kind of catalog or magazine, I think of my Aunt Marilyn. I'm sure you do as well. I mean, staying at their home was like an adventure. Like I said, it was like Disneyland. I remember you had some kind of pool in the backyard. I think you made it, maybe. I think they had Glad bags for the whatever. I'm not even sure it was legal, but point is, it was fun. We had so much fun. Like I said, Marilyn cooking and baking and always laughing. So that was kind of our childhood, and I always thought, you know what, I wish everybody could have an Aunt Marilyn. Because if you did, your life would be really cooler. Because my aunt would give us really cool gifts. A lot of my favorite gifts growing up were things from Calico Cat. I still remember she called it a Japanese mobile. It was a code for all these things hanging on these wires. She always had a name for everything. So I thought it was okay to bring all my friends, including boys, to my bedroom to show them my really cool stuff. And my mother said, you might not want to do that. But Marilyn gave me all this cool stuff growing up. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward because I don't know how long we're supposed to talk and I feel like I'm rambling. But with 91 great years, there's so much to say. The last couple years, though, probably mean the most to me with my aunt. Because Marilyn moved to the suburbs of Chicago and moved into the same apartment building as her sister, my mom. So we got Marilyn on the first floor, my mom on the second floor. So between Kathleen and John and me and my siblings, we saw Marilyn all the time. So we'd go to my mom's house, we'd call Marilyn, hey, do you want to come down? We're just having Arby's. And Marilyn, well, I would love to have an Arby's. And she'd come all, with her big turquoise necklace down. Now she had a wheelie cart now. And she'd act like, well, this is the best sandwich I've ever had. And I'd say, would you like coffee? Well, I'd love some coffee. Everything she did was like that. Kathleen and I started this tradition just a couple of years ago then with happy hour. So we called it HH. At LV, Liberty Village was the name of the building. So we'd have happy hour at Liberty Village with Marilyn and my mom, and the 4 of us would sit outside. My mom and Marilyn would share a can of margaritas. I didn't know margaritas came in a can, but they would split it, and Marilyn would get a little loopy, and she'd be, eating whatever, I guess a McDonald's. I mean, we were like fast food over there. This is the best hamburger I ever had and the best margarita. But I have to say those times are probably closest to my heart. And when her health began to fail a little, and when she had to move out of Liberty Village and needed a little bit more assistance, she still saw the beauty of everything in life. I would visit her at her new place, and she'd say, Melanie, look at that door. And it's the door to her closet, you know, at this new building she's living in. And she'd go, I'm going to paint something. And she would describe in detail what she's going to paint. So every day she would say, when I would see her, I'd say, Marilyn, what are you painting today? And she would describe what she's painting. It got to the point, though, when her health was failing a little bit more, I said, Marilyn, what are you painting today? And she goes, you know, I don't know. So the day that she said, I don't know, I thought, well, just close your eyes and think of good thoughts. So I think I'm going to close with that, because I like to think now that Marilyn, like I said, with the best seat in the house, is up there with her hair blowing in the wind, a paintbrush in her hand, and she's got the best subject matter ever, and that she knows what she's going to paint next. I loved her more than words that I can't even say. And because of her bigger than personality life, we already miss her so much. But it's good to see all of you here. She really was a blessing. Sorry if I rambled.
So I'm Nancy. I said I've been meeting people and saying I'm niece Nancy, so easy to remember my name. So I'm one of the siblings. Melanie and I didn't talk about what we were going to share.
Sorry.
But the funny thing is, she almost verbatim said everything that I was going to say. I mean, that just shows you about my Aunt Marilyn. I mean, the larger in life person that she was. And the one thing about me is I had another special time. I wasn't big in emotion today.
Do you want to share my Kleenex? Or really?
I actually had the privilege to live with my Aunt Marilyn and Uncle Frank in Knoxville for a year when I was a freshman in high school. My parents were going through some transition, and so they thought it'd be easier to have my twin sister who couldn't make it here today, and I lived with my aunt while they sorted some things out. And so I got to live, this is my old stomping ground. Yeah. For a year I lived in Knoxville. And I got to know my Uncle Frank and my Aunt Marilyn in a very unique way, right? Most people don't get to live with their aunt and uncle for a year. And I got to, see firsthand how her creative mind works, and I got to help her create some of these. My Aunt Marilyn was also a procrastinator, as many of you may know, but helped her create some artwork and do some things to help her with her business. And it was just a special time in my life, and I'll never forget it. And I agree with Melanie, though, that last year, having her back in my life as an adult, being around there and helping her, kind of after she helped me, it was a nice way to give back. But I did want to read one thing. Sorry, it might be going on long, but there's a poem called The Dash. I don't know if people are familiar with The Dash, by Linda Ellis. And I'm just going to read part of it because I think it holds true. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on the tombstone from beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of birth and spoke the following date with tears, but he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time that they spent alive on earth, and now only those who love them know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love, and how we spend our dash. And I just think that is so true. And Marilyn lived life to the fullest. She appreciated everything in life, as Melanie was describing too. It's everything she ate, everything she tasted, everything she did, every person she met. She was fascinated by every person she met, and she made every person feel special, and that's why she was so special to me. She got life. She understood it. She understood that one thing. that you appreciate it, you smell the roses, she smells the roses. Sorry.
Psalmody is Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall